I wish I could make reaction videos, but I was born in 1956. I've heard all these songs. What could I possibly react to?
I was worth it, found my purpose, rarely abyss to the surface, the reward of constantly working.
Hey whippersnappers, Brian here at A Boomer Reacts. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, thanks for checking me out. I listen to rap and hip-hop songs using lyric videos, and then I let you know what I thought about them. As you can see, I'm going to be reacting to Falling Out the Sky by Armand Hammer. I had never heard of Armand Hammer before they were requested, so I'm going to read a little bio just so I know who they are, and then we'll get into the reaction. Oh, it's two people. Armand Hammer is a duo comprised of Billy Woods, that's all lowercase, and Elucid, that's all uppercase. And there's a space between each letter. Originally from DC, Woods grew up between Zimbabwe, his father's heritage, and the West Indies, his mother's heritage. He had been writing verses since the early 90s, but didn't take it seriously until he moved to New York for college. A girlfriend introduced him to her friend, Shamar Gardner, who was also a lyricist. He would later adopt the stage name Vordel Mega as one half of the duo Cannibal Ox. Before long, Vordel had enough clout to invite Woods to the studio to spit a verse. But what Woods initially imagined as his big break quickly turned into a nightmare. Everyone in the studio, except for Vordel, was openly hostile to him, and he couldn't even finish a few bars before he was interrupted with "Nope" or "Start over." The rejection stung, and Woods decided to strike out on his own. He founded his own record label, Backwoods Studios, both of those words end in Z's, in 2003, and released his debut album, Camouflage, through the Backwoods label that same year. Throughout the 2000s, the majority of Woods' output was released through the collective The Reavers, who released the album Terra Firma in 2005. First word's terror instead of terra. And also through the duo Super Cron Flight Brothers, which was comprised of him and fellow rapper Privilege. Their 2000 debut album, Emergency Powers the World Tour, featured the single Dirtweed, which was produced by MF Doom based on a song by his earlier group, KMD. Super Cron Flight Brothers released two more albums, Indonesia in 2009 and Cape Verde in 2010, before calling it quits. In the early 2010s, after Super Cron Flight Brothers had split up, Backwoods Studio had largely been unable to make a profit. This was around the time that Elucid was introduced to Billy through underground rap fixture Uncommon NASA, or NASA. It's spelled like, the space place, but it could be NASA, Uncommon NASA. Elucid was already years into his career and had released several mixtapes, starting with Smash and Grab in 2007. They became friends from the start, and Elucid was featured on Billy's 2012 album History Will Absolve Me, and the pair's partnership bloomed from there. Their chemistry was immediate, but Woods had doubts about fully committing to a collaborative project based on choppy past experiences. He says, quote, "I was wary of setting up any sort of group again, but this was a person who pushed me to do better things. It just felt good. I was really impressed by Elucid's music once we started working together. I realized I was dealing with a rare talent. It's a real challenge not to be outshined on tracks with him, but that is something that I welcome as an artist. Steel sharpens steel," unquote. Woods was the one who ultimately suggested they form a duo, officially bringing Armand Hammer into the world. Armand Hammer were prolific with solo albums and various distinct collaborations, including making frequent appearances on their own respective solo releases, in addition to the 4 records they made together in 4 years: Race Music in 13, Rome in 17, Paraffin in 18, and Shrines in 20. In 2021, they made a collaborative album with the Alchemist called Harem. Alchemist explains how he was introduced to Armand Hammer's music. It was pretty much Earl Sweatshirt. He was always putting me on to new stuff. I actually felt stupid, like I was under a rock for not knowing about them. So that's what started my interest. Then I started digging into each of their catalogs individually and as Armand Hammer. To me, at this point in my career, it's fun to have that feeling of finding something I didn't know about and being able to put other people onto it, like, yo, check this out. It started with me and Woods talking. I reached out to him first and was like, yo, I'm a fan. And we started building little by little. Making harem, an Arabic term that represents everything forbidden by Islam, was complicated. Oh, I always thought it meant, like that, group of women in a tent. Maybe that's forbidden by Islam. I don't know. So making it was complicated by COVID restrictions, European tours, and sessions for other LPs, including Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs's Grammy-nominated Alfredo. The album was assembled from scattered sessions like Frankenstein's monster, but that stop and start provenance is not apparent. The Alchemist says, sometimes you make a rhyme or a beat and you're not sure exactly how you made it, but you can appreciate it in its full form. This album, when I hear it now, sounds really deliberate. Falling Out the Sky was produced by The Alchemist and features Earl Sweatshirt. This marks the second collaboration between Armand Hammer and Earl Sweatshirt, following the first collaboration, Ramses II, on Armand Hammer's album Shrines, released in June of 20. Okay. That wasn't too bad, right? I know who they are now. Okay. Falling Out the Sky from Harem.
Drop the load on me before they close the door. I be with nobody who knows what's going on inside. My father's body swollen behind my eyes. I ain't cried for him in time to return solar. We on the ride forward, the reverse not working. Sometimes we collide, the black sky full of supernovas and stars that died. No lie, I'm still rooting for us. 2 puss in the soil, rhymes forged to conjoin us to the cosmic. Spliff burning like crude oil, cool water drip like osmosis. I set the mood for you, you know the vibes. Today I got time for it. Run Forest, 5 on me like I'm Bob Hurry for the tribe slime. Mamba mentality stars falling out of the sky. Slide.
He was a star. When I got him, he was a star. Sly told you that everybody is a star. The only problem is some people haven't been put in the dipper and pulled back on the world. That's what the answer is.
Woke up on the West Coast for the first time in my life. Drove cross country, but I remember those flights. Genuflected when I heard the weed price. White boys with the weed pipes. Sunny days, sunny nights, mighty clouds and northern lights. I was always bright, so no sooner than we touched down, I'm seeing how we could get home and be right. It's hard to live in the moment, but I guess I had a gift. Hawaiian so potent, zoning off bong rips. I painted houses all summer, they paid by the shift. My boss was an enterprising white kid, eagle-eyed, everything you did, shit gig, but I didn't quit. MJG and 8 ball spitting out the whip, spliffs with Keith at the tip. It felt sleepy at night, but I liked that. Felt like you could relax, like you could disappear, like I wasn't surrounded by the past. Months passed and we going back, and in the back of my mind the plan already hatched. The door panels already stashed. Illinois state trooper just waiting for time and space to cross our path.
It's daydreams that I love, where you might be controlling some of the thoughts. The dream takes over. Things are unraveling before you without your intervention.
Walking four corners of God's country. Group calisthenics and morning fog. Catskill views, cats still yawning. A few hundred miles from hot garbage and smog. 89 fine Air Max 91st ride. Fresh lungs, sweet blood, light bulbs, spark blackness. Back at the annex. Past bedtime kissing, praying nobody catch us. Zap, baby powder, homie sock if you fell asleep first. Pummel body, la-di-da. Batteries added, vicious cycle. Hurt people, hurt people. Days of summer carefree, haven't found an equal. We all know the Isleys before the Beatles. Red moon over the rec room in direction of discovery. Idle time wondering, thumbing 70s ebony mags, dripping red icy on the pages. Learn to swim in the pool where a boy drowned last year. Wax in my ear, I heard voices I couldn't make out in the deep end. When I dipped my head under, come again. Birds stuck to my socks, pinch every few steps on the way to the graveyard. Old man crops his head in my foot locker.
That was very, summer, roll your windows down and blast this song. It was really laid back. I like the girls' vocals in the backgrounds. And even though Earl Sweatshirt is laid back, he's too laid back. He's too laid back for this. It sounded like he wasn't even interested in rapping. I don't know if that's how he always is, but he was a little too, low energy for me. But Elucid and Billy Woods were both good. They weren't as happy as I would have expected on such a sweet, summery beat, but they had sad things to say. So Earl's verse seems to me like his dad died, and he's just coming to terms with that. And Billy's is about spending time on the West Coast and getting some really cheap pot. And if you put some in your car and drive through Illinois, you're in trouble. And Elucid's, just sounds like, something in the woods or the forest. Perhaps he grew up somewhere, that, wasn't near the city. What does it say here? A few hundred miles from hot garbage and smog. So, say, first run, fresh lung, sweet blood. Light bug, spark blackness, back of the annex. So, he's out in the woods somewhere. For all I know, it could be, like summer camp. Doesn't say he's, older in this. Learned to swim in a pool where a boy drowned last year. So, yeah. Thumbing 70s ebony mags. Dripping red icy on the pages. Yeah, so he's a little kid talking about his time in summer camp. So each MC has a different story to tell and different flows per verse. And like I said, Earl's was just too low energy for me. I needed something a little more bouncy, especially on this beat. But Armand Hammer, they were great. And of course, Alchemist, who is part of this album. It's not just Armand Hammer, it's Armand Hammer and the Alchemist. So I can't leave him out. I love the beat. It was very happy, peppy, poppy summer. And I like those kind. Well, thanks for hanging with me, guys. If you like this kind of content, give me a like and a subscribe. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.